Dr. Shivram from Sirsi. Uh, I welcome you all for this session on scaling up of ophthalmic practice. It's a beautifully designed session. It is for young ophthalmologists, upcoming ophthalmologists, and on behalf of all the resource persons, I would like to thank the KOS, especially Dr. Elan, for giving us this opportunity. Most of our resource persons have already joined, and I request our technical team to start my first presentation of welcome, scaling up of practice, which I have already uploaded.
It's why we need to scale up practice, right, doctor?
Yes.
Yeah.
Good morning, all. I welcome you all for this session on scaling up of practice. This is designed for the young upcoming practitioners of about 5 to 10 years. The panelists are chosen who are successful practitioners of over 2 decades of experience who built up their practice individually. Why we need to scale up practice? As all of you know, there is ever increase in expenditures every year, and there is upgrading technology and techniques, peer pressure, public demand, as well as most important, self-satisfaction. You know, change is the only constant. Flowing water is cleaner than stagnant water. What are the financial challenges we face? There is increase in salaries and remunerations, maintenance of infrastructure and equipment, upgrading the equipments in next few years. There is increase in taxations to beat inflation as well as increase in personal expenses. What are the goals of enhancing our practice? Financial gain should be byproduct of scaling up of skill and technology. As we pray every day, Evanyatva Mahadevi Yathayogyam Tathakuru. That means when we need more, we have to increase our yogyata. Risk and reward always goes hand in hand. What challenges we face? It is to increase quantity as well as quality. Quantity means increase in number of OPDs, procedures, and surgeries. And qualitatively, we need to increase the infrastructure and human resource, upgrading skills and technology, as well as planning and management. As one of the Subhashita from Bhartrhari says, Udyame vahi siddhyanti karyanina manorataihi nahi suptasya simhasya mukhe pravishanti mruga. That means, though lion is the king of the forest, he needs to plan and work and hunt for his food. None of the praise will never come to his mouth on its own just because lion is the king of the forest. I would like to introduce our panelists, our senior ophthalmologist from Mumbai, Dr. V.C. Mehta. He is a senior private practitioner since 1981. First among few to start phaco and LASIK in India. Mehta Eye Clinic offers subspecialties also. He is a resource person and live surgery demonstrator in most of the conferences in India and abroad. He will speak on soft skills are not hard to practice through his keynote address. Dr. Prabhu Gowda Patil is a graduate from BLD Bijapur, PG from BIMS, fellow of Arvind. He owns Anugraha Eye Hospital, Vijaypur, since last 2 decades, and Gulbarga also, Rajyotsava awardee for his exemplary services. He will be dealing with team building and human resource management. My good friend, Dr. H.M. Ravindranath, senior pediatric practitioner from Drishti Eye Center, Davangere, over 2 decades, graduate from KIMS Hubli and postgraduate from All India Institute of Medical Science, New Delhi. He will deal with enhancing infrastructure, that's technology and skills. Dr. B.N. Shivprasad is a senior practitioner of over 3 decades of experience, undergraduation and post-graduation from Hyderabad, trained in UK. He practices in Keshav Netralaya, Hassan, and he is a renowned phaco and refractive surgeon. He will be speaking on financial plan and execution. Myself, Dr. Shivram KV, founder and medical director of Ganesh Netralaya, Sirsi, practicing since 25 years, passionate about operation theatre planning and management. I will be sharing my experiences on building practice through social service. The last but not the least, Dr. Anuj Ponnappa. He is a young upcoming ophthalmologist from Kushal Nagar, Pune, about 6 years of experience. His MS from Rajiv Gandhi University, Glaucoma Fellow from Arvind Hospital. He will be speaking on what did I learn from this session on behalf of all young ophthalmologists. As Bhagavan Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, Uddharen Atmanatmanam Atmanam Avasadhaye Atmaiva hi Atmano Bandhu Atmaiva Ripuratmanaha. That means elevate yourself through the power of your mind and not degrade yourself. For the mind can be the friend and also enemy of the self. Though our experienced panelists share their experiences and motivate you, it's you have to work hard for the success. Thank you, Karnataka Ophthalmic Society's office bearers, especially Scientific Committee Chairman Dr. Elan, for giving us this opportunity, and welcome all the panelists as well as all the delegates for this function. Thank you. I request Dr. V.C. Mehta to start his presentation, sir.
Okay, thank you so much for inviting me. I hope you guys can hear me properly.
Yes, sir.
Am I visible also?
Yes, sir.
Share the screen, okay. Okay, good morning everyone. Soft skills are not hard to practice is what the topic being given to me by Dr. Shivram, and thank you Dr. Shivram for inviting me to a wonderful topic or a meeting where everything else other than ophthalmology is being discussed. And it's really important that we discuss other things than just the phaco and LASIK. The soft skills are very important because they are social and emotional intelligence that helps to facilitate harmonious interpersonal relationship. Eventually, when you start practicing, what you desire is to create a long-lasting relationship with your patients, so that your patient base increases and the patients keep coming from that large satisfied group of patients. And this is where the soft skills are very, very important. An ophthalmologist who only talks shop or the commerce part of the practice may not really earn the trust of the patient, as opposed to the ophthalmologist who has well developed soft skills and uses these soft skills in day-to-day practice. He is the one who is more likely to earn the trust of the patient. So if I tell you soft skills, this is how I define. If knowledge, clinical acumen and surgical expertise are the crafts of an ophthalmologist, then soft skills are the necessary art. So if you don't have the soft skill but you have excellent hard skill, there are chances that you may not succeed as well as you should. If you have just the soft skill and the hard skills are hard to come by, then you may just sail through. But if you have both the hard skills and the soft skills, you are going to be a winner. So soft skills are as important as a hard skill. So soft skills are very crucial physician quality within a surgeon. Most of the time, the surgeon, when he sits in the OPD, is in a hurry to close the deal for a cataract surgery or any procedure. But this is where the physician in a surgeon comes out, and he exercises the soft skills in order to establish the trust and not just close the deal for a cataract surgery. No matter how good craftsman you are, and no matter how sophisticated tools you have got, if you do not have the soft skills, then you are not likely to succeed as much. So soft skills and hard skills, they go together. That means unfortunately, in our medical training colleges, they only teach you the hard skills. But mind you, this scenario is changing. Now the soft skills are finding a place in the curriculum of the postgraduate teaching, and they teach soft skills up to 1 year also. So imagine those people who are coming out now as a postgraduate or super specialist, they have been trained not only in the hard skills but in the soft skills as well. So those of us who really did not get an opportunity or did not kind of make an attempt to learn the soft skills, you are going to face challenges from the juniors as well as. So better start learning soft skills and exercising soft skills. There are host of soft skills that are available to you, and it's very difficult to choose what you want in your own practice. So the list can be absolutely endless. So there was a survey which was regarding the desired skills to acquire in ophthalmic training. And if you look at this skill set that are required to acquire in an ophthalmic training, if you look at it, then interestingly, the interpersonal and communication skill tops the list. So lower the number, the higher the requirement. So surprisingly, it's not any of the hard skills that you want to look at, but it is the communication and interpersonal skills that is at the top of the desired skill acquiring things. So soft skills are really important. If you look anywhere else, then to succeed, 50% of the skills that you need is communication skill. And even the various articles state that the patient wants nothing but a good communication skill from the doctor. So now we know that the soft skills are very important and they play a crucial role. Let us discuss the various steps of the soft skills that are required in converting the inquiry of a patient to last everybody's kind of desire to put the patient under the knife or to do the surgery. So we are going to trace the steps of the patients from inquiry to surgery. The first contact of the patient with the clinic is telephone call. And mind you, the first impression is the lasting impression, as you all know. So telephone call is the first contact, and this is where you need to score and bring the patient to the clinic. So most of the time, the staff as well as the doctors think that it's just a telephone call. No, the person calling is just as important as the person walking in the door. So a person who is calling is to be treated as important as the person who is walking into the door. Is almost the patient is coming to you physically. So to make him come physically, you need to exercise certain telephone skills. And to do that, we need to have a dedicated telephone operator and a dedicated space for the telephone operator to work in. So most of the time, the receptionist works as a telephone operator. So the receptionist is actually multitasking. So what happens? Somebody calls, and the call is put on a hold, and they attend the person who has come physically. So multitasking should be avoided, and there should be a dedicated telephone operator with a dedicated space. There should be no background noise, because if nowadays you receive so many telephone calls, right? And when you answer some of them by chance, and if there is a lot of background noise, you wouldn't like to talk to that person. So that's the most important thing, is to answer the call on the second or the third ring. People don't have time, they don't want to wait. If you pick up the phone, it's good for you. I had visited SNEC way back in 95 or so, and I wanted to see that how do they give appointments on the telephone. And they took me to a small room where two people are sitting, and it was an isolated soundproof room, and they were sitting with the software and the telephone, and on the top was written, the customer should hear your smile. So that's something which stuck to me, that you are not in person, but it should be conveyed that you are very happy to receive you on the phone. So there are various telephone etiquettes. The point is that you need to kind of appoint a separate telephone operator, train them, and you need to look after them also. So once you have passed through the telephone call, then the patient visits the clinic. So the job of the front desk is to greet them with a smile. Most important is to explain the average waiting time and the process that is involved, so that the patient knows what is going to be done to him when he is in the clinic. So once they know that I'm going to go through at least 3 or 4 processes before I'm going to meet the doctor, and this is the average time, he is at ease, and also the cost that is involved. And I mean, most of the practices experience a sudden influx of the patient. Suddenly about 10-15 patients would come within 10 minutes. So your front desk should be trained and should be good enough to handle the sudden influx of the patient. It should be made from that particular point of view. So when there is a sudden influx, 3 people would come into the front desk and handle the patients. Waiting room. Waiting room, sitting in a waiting room of a doctor is a boring thing. And especially if your waiting is very long and nobody pays attention to you. And you do not know when your turn is going to come. So pay attention to the patient's waiting time. If the waiting time is getting delayed, then the floor manager should from time to time appraise the patient that this is what is happening. And you can offer tea, coffee, and drinking water to the patients. No matter how good your interior is, what the patient looks at is the neatness and the cleanliness of the waiting room. It's not the decor that they look at, it is the cleanliness that they look at. So be careful and keep your place clean no matter how it is. So that is what is going to impress the patients. Optometrists. Optometrists are the first contact of the patient. They take the history, they do the refraction, they in fact interact with the patient and extract significant amount of history. And the most important is that the optometrist should be told that please avoid making a diagnosis. Even though they are smart enough to know that there is a cataract, please don't say. Please tell that the doctor will look at all your findings, and then they will tell you what the problems is. And very subtly, they should be encouraging the patients to know the various facilities that are available in a clinic, so that you are subtly selling your practice. Then finally the patient comes to the ophthalmologist. And for an ophthalmologist, you have learned the hard skill, but the communication skill is at the heart of the doctor-patient relationship, because it builds confidence, it improves patient compliance, reduces medical errors, and reduces conflicts. Now, how do you, what are the communication skills that are needed? There are two types of communication skills, the verbal and non-verbal. The verbal forms just 35% of your of the whole communication, while the non-verbal forms 65% of the whole thing. So facial expression, it's not important what you say, but how you say, and the tone of your voice is very important. How you say, what is your appearance to the patient, whether you make an eye contact with the patient at the right time, the gesture, everything is very important. So quite often they don't listen to what you are saying, but they see how you are saying, what is the confidence level in what you are saying, and that with that they make up their mind, yes, this is going to be my surgeon. So non-verbals are extremely important than just about the verbals. So in a verbal communication, listening is the most important aspect of a communication. If you don't listen and you keep talking, then you have lost your patient. So first is, so there are lots of kind of approaches that we should define. So when you need to standardize the approach that you make to the patient as an eye surgeon. So what my take is that let the patient talk first. When the patient talks, half of the burden is gone, that yeah, there is somebody who is ready to listen to all my symptoms, no matter how trivial the symptoms may look to you, but to the patient the symptoms are very significant. That's the reason why they have come to the clinic. Always don't interrupt the patient. When the patient is talking, you interrupt just to ask very relevant questions: since when, how much, etc. Then, having taken all the information and looking at the EMR of everything that has been done by the optometrist, I go ahead and look and examine the patient. Then I mentally make up a diagnosis and the management plan, and then I start talking to the patient. So this way you don't try to make mistakes, because quite often the patient has come for a second opinion and you will come in with a big surprise kind of a thing. So make a plan, standardize your approach to every patient. There are various protocols available. You can decide whatever you want, but have a kind of a good approach. I'm sure most of you are following this, but there are times when you start to becoming haphazard, so try to avoid doing that. So what is important is to know what the OPHTHAL patients want from the doctor. So these are the list of 6 areas that the patients have told, and they have been asked, what do you want from the ophthalmic surgeon or the eye surgeon? And honesty comes on the top of the list. Information regarding diagnosis and prognosis, and explanation to be done in an easily understood terms. So you do not try to throw terms like you have a chronic simple glaucoma. Tell them in a very simple kind of a term, or ARMD or something like this. Stop using those difficult terms. The ophthalmologist's experience and reputation obviously is very important. Empathy and listening is very important. Every patient wants you to listen to their symptoms, so do not ignore that. And based on all this, you start addressing the concerns that the patient has. You know, a patient has come for something, and when he goes out of the clinic and he feels, oh, he has not given me anything for the things that I had come for. So it always address the concerns that the patient has. Now, learning soft skills, if we have never learned a soft skill in our curriculum, then we need to start learning them. But every kind of a successful practitioner has certain soft skills which has come naturally to them. So you need to recognize those skills, and you need to improve upon that, find resources, situations, and then enhance your skill. Like a hard skill, the soft skill can also be improved with the practice. So this is what is a learning soft skill spiral that I call it. So first of all, it's an unconscious incompetence. That means I don't know that I don't know. It's an ignorance, right? From there you go into a conscious incompetence. That means I know that I don't know, so I need to learn something. So this particular session is to make you conscious about what you are not knowing, and then you learn all that. You learn in such a way and implement in such a way that it becomes unconsciously competent. That means it gets into your DNA and you would kind of do it every time the same way. So the soft skills that we need to implement should come very naturally to you, just as the FACO emulsification comes to you so very naturally. Soft skills are very important, and therefore you should not ignore the soft skills. You know you have certain soft skills. If you lack in certain other soft skills that you think you should develop, you better go ahead and train yourself, implement, and make it better and better. So thanks a lot for your kind attention. I hope the soft skills have been made simpler for you. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, for your wonderful enlightenment. I still remember you, Mehta sir, one decade back when you came to Joshi Hospital, you had told one sentence, satisfying customer was an old mantra, delighting
Absolutely.
customer is the new
Absolutely.
mantra. So whoever the customer comes, you have to be delighted, to be
Yeah.
more happier than, so that they will remember you for longer time. So
Absolutely.
we are trying to adopt your these things. I'm really impressed.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for making it easy.
Thank you. Thank you.
Next speaker would be Dr. Prabhu Gowda on team building and managing human resource. Please upload the video, madam.
Very good morning to everybody, respected chairperson and my dear friends. I am Dr. Prabhu Gowda, the founder of Anugrah Hospital. Would be very happy to share my knowledge about the team building. My mentor, Dr. G. Venkateswamy, the founder of Arvind IK system, used to tell about the 6 senses of successful practice. He used to tell that whatever scientific knowledge we have in treating the patients may not be helpful in doing a successful practice. What one need to understand is about the affectionate behavior towards the patient, your affordable prices for the treatment in ophthalmology, your adjustable nature to the patient's demand, you being adjacent to the patients, and also your accountability for whatever results you get after the treatment. The building of a team mainly involves joining hands and then coming together is a beginning, and staying together is a progress, and working together is a success. The success of an organization needs a dedication, a determination, hard work, and a team building. Every member of the team should understand that none of us are as strong as all of us. Alone, I can only win the match, but together we can win the championship. The team building needs an extra effort by everybody, and for this we need to have an urge to do something extra. And you should have some inspiration from the legends in this field of ophthalmology. For me, it was Dr. G. Venkateswamy from Arvind IK system and Dr. M.M. Joshi from M.M. Joshi Eye Institute, Hubli. You should also be surrounded by the people who keep motivating and then extracting something extra from you, and this helps in building the team. And in the teamwork, everybody's work is very important, and everybody should understand their responsibility, and ultimately everybody should be worried about the patient, so that the patients are the priority and the patient are the concern. In the beginning of the practice, when you have very few number of the patients to see, you can have only one receptionist, one OPD assistant, and only one OT assistant. But if your work increases more than 50% per day, and then if you can do more than 5 OTs per day, then you need to expand your team. And here you need more people, and you may need more space, which obviously needs more coordination and more adjustments. Team expansion needs the patient education, because In the solo practice, every part of the treatment is done by the single person, but in a team, every part like refraction, slit lamp examination, counseling, A scan will be done by different individuals. So the patient should understand that he has to undergo in a process, he would meet some 5-6 people before he gets the prescription. And we need to educate every member of the team about the importance of the teamwork, and everybody should also know what they are supposed to do and what they are not supposed to do. With the expansion of the team, we need to have a more number of people working with the team, and for this we need to train in a different subspecialties, mainly the OPD assistants, OT assistants, counselors, receptionists, etc. And this can be done by regular training of a different subspecialty in the hospital. The main backbone of a human resource is optometrist and ophthalmic surgeon, and this we can build by having a paramedical college and also a fellowship program. You can also have a DNB courses, BSc optometry and BSc nursing, which will have a staff, enough number of staffs working with you. If somebody leaves also, you can have a member which recently completed can be adopted as a staff member. To retain the staff members, we need to do something other than the salary in the form of health insurance. You can give them ESI and PF, and you can give the bonus to the people on the festivals, and you need to help them in emergencies, and you have to make them feel that they are the part of the organization, and you need to monitor the activity of every individual and have an analysis of each member and reward them accordingly. If somebody does something good, you have to praise them openly for the good, so that other people will get inspired to do the same. And if somebody does something wrong, we have to call them privately and warn them. So yearly increment in the salary, incentive for the extra effort, and sponsoring of the conferences and sponsoring of special training programs would help in retaining the staff members. And if somebody has got an administrative capabilities, we can promote them in different areas. Most of the people get bored doing the same patient care activities, and if you have regularly some off the duty activities in the form of hospital day celebration, arranging a picnic for a day and sport meet for the staff, and if you can involve them in healthcare activities and tree plantation activities, and also if you keep observing all the days of all the days which are related to ophthalmology, so these will mentally relax the people, and they will be ready to do the work with more efficiency. Challenges the teamwork is mainly the floating population, and this you can tackle by keeping training of the newer persons for the vacancies. And conflict of the interest mainly happens in the department where we have the two people working in the same capacity. So the leader of the team should take interest and resolve these issues, and try to prevent gossiping and groupism. And you may not get a perfect member all the time. One need to work hard and mold each member into a perfect team member, and maintain strict punctuality and sincerity. You should never entertain any staff member to do freelance servicing. Proper utilization of the manpower is very important, and you can optimize the working pattern and give at a stretch time of working, so that they can do with more efficiency. Charitable wing is very important, which will build goodwill among the general public, and this also is the best way of advertising, where you can show your efficiency, and this will create a good number of friends by the way of non-governmental organizations. And this also obviously helps in building the staff by doing a lot of charity work. And you can have 12A and ATG for your organizations to get the donations and CSR fundings, which will help to bear the burden of financial burden of this social responsibility. So if somebody is very happy about his solo practice, this may not be there in the future, because the trend is about the team practice and then corporate practice. So we need to change and we need to build the team. So change looks risky, but not changing is riskier. So try to change. Thank you.
Hello. Hello.
Hello. Thank you, Dr.
Hello.
Prabhupada, sir, for
Thank you,
making
sir.
it so simple. You are so experienced in building the team and a model of for many
Thank you,
young
sir.
ophthalmologists, especially in the northern Karnataka region and tier 2, tier 3 cities. And
Thank you, sir.
you are really inspired many to build the team. I
Thank you, sir.
believe in one principle, sir, that
Yeah.
no one is an employee. Everybody is a
Yeah.
partner. Whether
Partner.
right from the sweeper to the doctors, everybody is a partner. You might have invested, you have to work more, but non-investing partners. Okay.
Yes, sir.
If we
Yeah.
think
Thank you.
and act like that, we won't have much problem if we treat them as partners in
True.
service.
Truly true, sir. Very true. Very true. Thank you.
Okay, okay. And one point I'd just like to add is, see, for all the staff and the team, we keep reminding about how you said 6 A's,
Yeah.
8 C's, like cooperation, commitment, coordination, continuous learning, compassion, complementary to each other, competitive spirit, and good communication. These are the 8 C's.
Wonderful.
I always remind them in every meeting, everywhere in our hospital. Okay,
Wonderful, sir. Wonderful. Very nice to know all these things, sir. I'm very happy to be a part of this. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sir. Thank you. Our next speaker would be Dr. H.M. Ravindranath, and he will be speaking on upgrading challenges in upgrading technology and skills. Please play the video.
Good morning, everybody. At the outset, I would like to thank KOS for having given this opportunity, and especially Dr. Shivram for having included me in this session. My topic is enhancing the infrastructure, technology, and skill. The infrastructure includes, that's building, which includes the space, design, and interior, and the manpower you have, technical and non-technical. The equipments we have, the operating system, and advertisement. This is self-explanatory. 20 years ago, what we were, and now what we are. So this is not the exception. Practice is not in anybody's successful ophthalmic journey, practice journey. 20 years ago, what we were, all are not gifted. Now what we are, majority are like this. This is not the exception. You start, practice is I've divided into 5 phases. Here, phase 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Phase 1, you start your OPD in the rented place and do your OT outside. And phase 2, anybody's successful, you have your OT and OPD practice journey. 20 years ago, what you can, all are not gifted. Now what we are, majority are like this. And third, you have your own place. Phase 1, OPD, OT, 4, 5, optical and pharmacy. Phase 1, you start the most crucial part.
But I think
double scale up your institute. And phase 2, anybody's successful, you have other specialties. 20 years once you have a shape, all are not gifted. Now what can majority have the branches. And third, you have your own journey of phase 1, OPD, OT, successful ophthalmic pharmacy. Phase 1, you start the most crucial part. So
Sir, I think
then
it's
you coming to the
double-
phase one,
double
this is everybody
phase two,
starting point. You have OPD, other specialties. 20 years once you have a shape, all are not different. Now majority have the mind. Third, this is a typical journey of phase one, OPD, OT. Never compromise in quality of phase one. You start the most crucial part, building up your.
Sir, I think
Then
it's
you
double-
coming to the phase
Sir,
one.
I think there is some problem in this thing.
You have
Yeah.
these are don't
There is echoing.
too much. Once you have a shape, all are not different. Now majority have the mind. Third, this is a typical.
Sir, there is some problem in video.
Audio problem is there.
Yeah, audio problem is there. It's echoing.
Yes. Can you do it live?
Huh? I can.
Can you do it live?
Yes, I'll do it live, sir. Sir, there is
Hello.
Little fasten it.
problem in video. I'll do it, sir. I'll do it.
Audio problem. Okay.
Yeah, audio problem is there. It's echoing.
Yes.
I'm audible, sir, now?
Yes.
I'm audible?
At the outset, I would like to thank KOS
You can little forward it.
Okay.
for having them in the rented place and do your OT outside. And phase two, you have your OT and OPD in a rented place. You can add a optical unit to increase the revenue. And third, you have your own place with OPD, OT, optical and pharmacy. And this is the most crucial part. And then you scale up to an institute where you will add retina, glaucoma, or other subspecialties. Once you have a shape of institute, you can probably have the branches. So this is a typical journey of a successful ophthalmic practitioner, according to me. So coming to the phase one, this is
Doctor, it's not audible.
It's not audible. It's not audible. You can speak, Ravindranath.
and trying to do something
now-
different and new.
Is it audible,
I mean,
sir?
in a good way. And
Sir, is it audible now?
Audible, sir. As of now, it's
Yes,
audible.
sir.
cataract surgery has transformed into a beautiful surgery now. So you had a topical phaco patient comes, gets a surgery done, painless surgery, and next day he can see and can go to the job. Nothing like that. So you add value to the result by upgrading yourself with the technology. And many people think that these premium IOLs like toric IOLs and multifocal IOLs are only for the metro cities. No. Definitely, these are designed even for us, and we can also afford to use these IOLs. And definitely, using these premium IOLs or adding technology to a cataract surgery, cataract practice, which improves the quality of life of the patients and in turn increases the revenue. The same revenue you can use to scale up your practice. Next comes phase two, where you, in the same rented places, probably you can have your OT once confidence level increases. Again, here, these four important equipments, you should never compromise in these equipments. Good microscope, a reliable phaco machine, accurate A-scan, and high quality autoclave. These investing little more money in these equipments at this stage, you may feel little difficult initially, but this equipments and your skill come in combination enhances the confidence level to operate large numbers, to operate high-risk patients, VIPs and relatives. Ultimately, doing this will increase your brand value in society, and you can probably go further. Then comes the phase three, as I said, it's a crucial part where you build your own hospital and you have your OPD and OT. You can include optical unit, pharmacy, and lab. These are the 5 basic units when you start your practice or start your own hospital. When you are building your own hospital, keep NABS standards as mandatory. The structures and other things you should read carefully and take the legal clearances, especially fire safety measures. When you are building your OT, Modular OT is ideal nowadays with air handling units. And before you build a hospital, you visit at least 10 hospitals which are ideal, which are nicely built. So you can have a plan for building OT and hospital. Have sterilization unit where you have a separate place for cleaning, drying, packing, autoclaving, and storing the equipment. Very important. And it's also important to have skilled and dedicated manpower along with that in your OT. Then other parties using information technology in upgrading yourself, invest in good medical record system. That is medical record department. You should have a good software. Invest in good software. Start your own website and maintain it regularly. Use social media like Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, YouTube to tell the society what you are doing, what good things you are doing. And ultimately doing all this will create a brand name. So creating a brand name is very important because that runs automatically on its own without depending on you being there always. So then comes phase 4, where you have your own building, you have all the basic facilities, and your clientage has increased. Then it is time to add some specialties. Some specialties, whenever you add some specialties, there are two things involved. One is the equipments, one is suitable manpower. The equipments depends on what branches you start. Could be retina, where you are investing in retina. You have to buy OCT, lasers, vitrectomy system, fundus camera, so on. When you are investing in corneal refractive surgery, you have to buy LASIK units and scans, corneal scans, glaucoma. You have to add visual field analyzer, OCT, and diag lasers. So whatever equipment you buy, it depends on the branches you start. And at the same time, getting a suitable manpower is important. Nowadays, it is not that difficult because everybody who is passing out, passing their MS will do fellowships. And it's not easy for everybody to start private practice nowadays. So it's good that you can get good manpower. Adding the equipments, there are some tips here. You always add a new equipment before you upgrade the existing one. So you add new one. Then once you think you have all the equipments, then you try to upgrade the new one. This is one. Second, don't over calculate. Many people waste a lot of time and hesitate to invest by thinking of return on investment. Don't over calculate. All the equipments will not give you return of investment. Indirectly, it will benefit you and increase the brand value. So that you should keep in your mind. Second, at the same time, don't fall prey to international companies where they will pressurize you to buy equipments, upgrade equipments every 5 years. So think judiciously whether it is necessary to buy or upgrade your equipment. Then only buy. And just don't buy just because your colleague has bought it in another place or some big person in the state has bought this equipment. So because MNCs will always tell this. Don't buy just because you can afford. And nowadays we have ophthalmic buying groups where you can club the number of instruments and buy at a reasonable price. Using technology to improve the skill. So here, at the same time, adding the equipment, adding the some specialists also. You have to increase your own skill level by joining the professional groups in Telegram and WhatsApp, involving the discussions. Nowadays, a lot of discussions, very good discussions take place in this platform. You can use YouTube videos to upgrade yourself and attend online webinars like this. So once you have multiple specialties, multiple special technology, improve your skills, increase the infrastructure, and your journey will be smooth and you will reach your goal. Thank you.
Sorry
Thank
for
you.
the technical errors are there.
No, it's okay. You have conveyed whatever should be conveyed properly in a systematic way. Thank you, HMR, for doing the best. Okay. And regarding equipment, I remember once our Dr. M.S. Ravindra said, many of the ophthalmologists in smaller towns, they feel inferior. They say that they can't invest on a microscope or phaco and doing in a very basic machine, but they will be driving a car of 10 to 15 lakhs. Rather concentrating on your personal this thing and go back and think and invest more on better equipment so that you can earn better than what you are. That's really had impressed me. Okay. Thank you, Ravindra. And
Dr. Shivaram, can I
any
add
question?
something?
Yes, sir.
I think the basic bare minimum instruments that are required for a cataract surgeon in today's time is a entry level good microscope, phaco machine, OCT, and optical biometer. So if you have these 4 equipments, you can do a wonderful practice.
Yes,
So
sir.
OCT is not just for the retina guys, it's also for the cataract patients. So every
It saves us.
patient of mine who undergoes cataract surgery undergoes an OCT macula.
Actually,
Thank you, sir.
sir, recently district places are buying more and better equipments than cities. Because
Absolutely.
I was talking to an instrument person recently. He's telling their sales are better in district places than the metros.
I think the awareness has increased. Yeah.
Really,
Money was always there.
yes, sir. Basically, realization. We think that district places we can't put toric IOLs, multifocal. People are getting it done and they are fantastic. No problem.
Absolutely.
Thank you, HMR. And our next speaker would be Dr. Shiva Prasad, our senior ophthalmologist, phaco-refractive surgeon from Hassan. He is an experienced person, seasoned person. He will be speaking on financial management, scaling up of financial management challenges. Video, please.
Good morning, friends. I'm Dr. Shiv Prasad and have been asked to upscale finance and execute it in 8 minutes, and that too without a plan. I'm not sure how I'm going to do it, but I'll give my best. How do you upscale your finance? The first thing you have to remember is, are you an independent person or do you have a family support? Do you have a single income or do you have a double income? Or do you have money for personal as well as for business? If you have a family support, it is easy to jumpstart because you've got financial independence. Family support in terms of money, in terms of land, in terms of the same profession or a different profession, but still you don't have to bother much about money and whatever interest you have to pay. So that is going to be of great help, and it is easy for a person with family support to jumpstart and upscale your practice. Suppose you're independent and you have to use your own finances. How can it be done? Tomorrow morning, you can't just say that I'm going to upscale myself. You have to plan it in advance because finances cannot be raised within a few days or a year. So you have to plan it in advance. And what does planning mean? Planning means, one, whether you've got a single income or a double income. If you're a person with a double income where your partner is also earning, one of it can be used for the personal purposes, while the other can go in for business or your practice. So when you start your practice, it's very important that you bill every income that you get. Every income is billed and receipted. You have to have your IT returns in place. You have to have a good balance sheet and you have to have good collaterals. Unless you plan for these things, it is not possible for you to upscale immediately. And going back and trying to do all this is going to be very difficult. So right from the start, you plan and do all these things so that it becomes much easier for you when you want to upscale. The second thing is have a good financial manager or a chartered accountant, or if you're good at finances, you have to plan 10 years in advance. What am I going to do in another 4 to 5 years? How I'm going to save my finances, and how I'm going to improve my balance sheet so that I can get a good bank loan or loan from anybody else so that I can upscale my practice. When you go for a bank loan, they're going to look for your repayment capacity. They are going to see if you have a good collateral and a personal guarantor. So make sure that before you upscale and go for a loan, you have these 3-4 things in ready, so that the chart accountant will tell you, yes, now you are ready for a bank loan and you can go for a bank loan. Now comes the plan. What do you want to upscale? Do you want to upscale infrastructure, equipment, personnel, or doctors? Infrastructure, equipment, and personnel can be upgraded by improving your finances. But what about doctors? It's very important that you start looking for doctors before you do any of these 3 things. The other thing you'll have to plan is whether you want to upscale into an institutional setup, or whether you want to go into a group practice, whether you want to go into charity campaign type of institution, or you just go along with the tide and do as it comes. So the most important for you is to have a site or a land before you want to upscale, because that is one that is going to increase in price. So if you can purchase a site or land for your hospital much in advance, a few years in advance, that is going to save you a lot of money. If you already have a land from the family and the family support is there, it becomes much easier. But then if you don't, then it is the first thing you'll have to do is to invest your money on a site or land. If you don't have that, then you can begin with a place on rent, but it is going to take away a chunk of your income. But then you have no alternative unless you have a site. The other thing you have to look at is, have you had your personal things cleared? Like you already have a site for your house. Have you got a car? Have you taken care of your children's education and emergency cash? Once you have done this, then only going for upscaling. It's very, very important that you take care of these things. But if you have a double income, then this is going to be not a problem. And when do you upscale? If your OPD is reaching around 60 to 70 a day, if your cataract surgery load is around 4 to 5 per day, then it's time that you start upscaling. The initial clinic that you have, or if you're going to plan for upscaling later on, should have a place for 2 doctors. So first thing you'll have to do is to get yourself a doctor who thinks along your lines and see if both of you can practice in the same setup that you already have. It should be done in such a way that the addition of a doctor is going to increase your outpatient and cataract surgery load. Once it starts giving you both an increase in OPD and your cataract surgery load, then is the time to shift to a new blending or plan for a new upscale. From my experience, I can tell you, never upscale unless you find a doctor or who is willing to join you. Because if you start upscaling without the presence of another doctor, you are going to do all the work and you will not have time for your family. The next thing you would like to do is equipment. Purchase the best for cataract surgery, because your entire upscale will depend upon the income from your cataract surgery. No other equipment will give you the same return of investment as on cataract surgery. So concentrate on the operation theater and cataract surgery. Only if you feel, yes, the income from my cataract surgery is going to fund all the rest, then think of upscaling. The other one is an optical outlet. Never give your optical outlet to anybody. Optical outlet is one of the best sources of income, and it gives better return of investment than even your practice. So it's important that you have an optical outlet and one of your family members take care of this optical outlet, because the income is definitely going to help you in improving your finances, in upscaling your practice. And even after upscaling your practice, this is going to give you a large chunk of your income. And before you upscale, look at the competition. Are there any chain hospitals? Because chain hospitals have got investors. They don't have to bother about money. They just have to see whether they get 30% profit or 20% profit on the whole. A loss in one hospital will be overcome by a loss in another hospital. They also have stress on cataract and optical stores. That is where the income is. They don't look at ophthalmology as a whole. Unfortunately, they try to make money from cataract and opticals, and this is where you might lose. So once you are sure that your practice is steady, any competition is not going to eat into your practice, and your practice is good enough and the patients have got faith in you, then go ahead and upscale your practice. And before you upscale, take care of your health and family. Family is the backbone, and your health is very, very important, because without good health, if you upscale, then they will be left in doldrums and it will be difficult for them to take care of your loans. So take care of your health and family. It's always said, the chicken first or the egg first. So do I wait till I improve my finances and then upscale? Or do I jump in and have to 2 to 3 centers and take the competition headlong? That is a decision that you have to take. If you are financially sound, then jump in and have 2 to 3 centers and doctors and take the competition headlong, and then you'll be successful like some people have done. If not, you can go the slow way, step by step, and see how you can do it. So this is what I mean, take the slow route and manage it as it comes by. I think I have covered most of the things, important things. I have not gone into the specifics because it varies from place to place, individual to individual. It's a general upscaling of finance for your upscaling of practice. Thank you.
Thank you, sir, Dr. Shivaprasad, for overview on how we need to manage and overlook the finances, not just doing blindly our work going on. Okay, but I believe, sir, from the beginning, some part of our income, like just how we pay income tax, some 10 to 15% of the income, we should keep ourselves for upgrading or upscaling our own ophthalmic practice, whether it in equipments or the staff training or our own skill development or so. If it's from the beginning, if you keep some financial commitment for upscaling, it will, in the long run, it will help us better.
Yeah.
Dr. V.C. Mehta, sir, your views, please.
Yeah, only one point. When you start the practice, do you want your entity to be a individual or a private limited, or what you call it as limited liability partnership? Because in the long run, a private limited company or an LLP is a better option than being an individual this thing, because the expenses that you do, the accounting that you do is better either in a private limited or an LLP company. And then when you start adding people, it becomes easier to keep the accounts in.
Sure, sir. Thank you. And
thank you.
we'll take up any other questions in the next session, the question and answer session. The last of the topic would be how to scale up our practice through social surveys. I'll be doing it. Please play the video. Good morning once again. I will be sharing my experiences of building practice through social surveys. Seva Paramo Dharmaha. As Shekhar Mehta, Rotary International President, says, service is the rent I pay for the space I occupy on this earth, and I want to be good tenant on this earth. Focus should be on earning people, that is Janasampadane. Other things will follow automatically. This is what the samskar from my parents. As we know, WHO definition of health is physical, mental, social, and spiritual well-being, not only absence of disease. 3/4 of the aspect of health, that's mental, social, and spiritual well-being, can be taken care by involving ourselves in service. Jiva Sajiva. Means every organ born in this earth is a Jivi, but we become Sajiva only when we involve and useful in the society, and that's Samaj. The Samaja Jivi is Sajivi. We are all human first and doctors later. We should live Kaya, Vacha, Manasa, the prayer, Sarve Bhavantu Sukhinaha, Sarve Santu Niramaya, Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu, Makaschid Dukkha Bhagave. What we learn in the classroom or within the profession is bread, and butter and jam is outside. We are all like floating island in the ocean of this universe. We should focus on human relations. Each contact we build is like a bridge to connect to the mainland. More the number of bridges, more stable is the island. Everybody thinks that what we do services within the profession, like eye checkup camp, surgical camps, eye health awareness programs, screening children in the school, checkup and screening for specific group like women, elderly, diabetes are all what we do service. Of course, it is a service. But what public thinks is this is your duty. Also, some may think that you are getting benefit out of it. How can we do it in a different way? Like art exhibition, poetry collection, music, street plays, Bharatanatyam, Yakshagana, service to government destitute home like old age home, special schools like mentally challenged, blind school, deaf and dumb school. We celebrate Independence Day, Republic Day and Staff Day by inviting guests on this occasion from different strata of society, and they become brand ambassadors of the institution. These are the eye care awareness arts produced by our artists of the town. And this is the pictures of the street play. A booklet, Drishti Srishti, collection of poems on eye care and blindness. Independence Day celebration. And when we opened our eye bank, we conceptualized a Bharatanatyam dance drama. In that, many of the mythological stories with organ donation have been played. Another point is we should take up responsible role in service organizations like IMA, Rotary, and Lions. See, many of our colleagues become members and backbenchers. But once we take the responsible role, it's a great learning process. There is an opportunity to serve in an organized manner. And in different ideas also we can get. And it is easy to get volunteers. And it nurtures our leadership skills. And it improves communication and public speaking. And networking and bonding with people across the society is wonderful in that. These are the projects we have undertaken, few when I was the president, like breastfeeding units in 3 places, open air gyms, and rainwater harvesting units, and education programs. Coming to the education sector, there's a huge area for service. We can become trustees or members of local education societies. Interacting with teachers and students and department will be wonderful. And we have done projects like e-learning, smart class, happy schools, RILA, motivational career guidance, lab, library and sports equipment, bridge courses, health education on nutrition, puberty and mental health, and so on. These are some of the pictures of the school projects we have undertaken. Happy School project. And coming to the environment, we are involved in Jeevajala Karyapade, which is the voluntary organization to rejuvenate water bodies. And we have done so far 11 water bodies and tanks in and around Sirsi. And part of trekking and cycling group, and be a part of genuine environmentalist group working in this area, and encourage small entrepreneurs and local artists in the area through your contacts. And CMEs are conducted here along with trekking and sightseeing. work of Geojal Karyapade and some of the trekking and tours with the group across the society. We should build bridges, like organizing programs and projects involving multiple organizations. Join hands with colleagues. And example is we had done Madhumeha Vedike Diabetic Forum, involving good people and projects in the society like Blood Bank, NICU, Chitra Samudaya, etc. From last 2 decades, I'm involved in the project Vesanmukta Samaj by Sri Swarnavali Swamiji for making aware about the side effects of alcohol, drugs, and tobacco among high school students around 3 taluks of this district, and part of administration of Ramakrishna Students Home and member of Yoga Federation of Uttara Kannada, and helping Vidya Poshak and Manu Vikasa for conducting scholarship programs in the district. And these are the programs which we conduct together: World Sight Day by Rotary, Lions, IMA, and District Blindness Society together. I'm executive committee member of IMA PG Hospital Blood Bank since its inception from last 15 years, and donated blood more than 40 times. And Yoga Federation programs and other cultural programs are sponsored by our institute. And president of felicitation committee for Dr. K.S. Naranacharya, instrumental in starting Diabetic Forum, and also Railway Horata Samiti for Sirsi, and the president, and working for the cause of the public, and involved in cultural events which gives us immense pleasure, as well as contacts with many artists in the field. We should think out of the box sometimes. We have created a space called Nayana Sabhangana in our institute. As we know, over the operation theatre complex, we cannot build toilets, bathrooms, ward, and all. And also rain, it should be protected from rain and sun. So we have created that space as Nayana Sabhangana, an auditorium established not only for the educational and awareness program, but also for showcasing cultural events like music, art, literature, theatre shows, yoga, Bhagavad Gita Abhiyana, etc. It is rented free of cost to the public, and it has become a cultural hub in the town. These are some of the programs in the Nayana Sabhangana. Nayana Foundation is a charitable wing of our institute, not only running the Lions Nayana Eye Bank, it is promotes cultural literacy activities of Nayana Sabhangana, as well involved in educational, environmental, health education, CMAs, and subsidy to the poor patients, and taking donations also from the public. Some of the cultural programs, we should look for the opportunity to serve. Like during flood relief, we have worked, and during COVID peak time, we have done Bhava Spandana, teachers online training for more than 5,000 teachers across the state through our Rotary contacts, Jnana Divige through public TV for distribution of tab to the SSLC students, and Vidya Setu had bridge course for 10th standard students was done this year, and we could reach more than 2 lakh students across the state and conceptualized from Sirsi. And as an IMA secretary in 2002-03, we have started Doctor's Day with family involvement and entertainment, which is still continued now. And as president of Rotary Club in 18 and 19, it was 60th year of Rotary in Sirsi. We planned and executed a recording of history of the Rotary Club of Sirsi, and it has become a wonderful memorabilia for all. These are some of the flood relief work, online programs involved, Rotary Voice, Vidya Setu, and this is involved in Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, and articles on different subjects other than ophthalmology written in the local newspapers. We should do social audit. As I said, Jana Sampadane is more important than any other. We should question ourselves every day, month and year, how many fellow human beings respect, confidence, blessings, and belief we have earned. Paropakararthamidam shariram. We earn fee for our professional services, but what we give back for the respect we get in the society, that's only through social service. And everybody asks about how can you get time and resources? Just like how we pay 30% of income tax to the government, and we have to reserve portion of our tanu, mana, dhana towards our obligation to the society, that is samaja runa. ಕೊಟ್ಟದ್ದು ತನಗೆ ಬಚ್ಚಿಟ್ಟದ್ದು ಪರರಿಗೆ. As DVG says in ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮನ ಕಗ್ಗ, ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕ ಸುಖವ ಪ್ರತ್ಯೇಕ ಸಂಪದವನ ಅತ್ಯಾಸೆಯಿಂದರಿಸಿ ಮಿಕ್ಕೆಲ್ಲ ಜಗವ ಒತ್ತಟ್ಟಿಗಿಡುವೆನೆನೆ ನಷ್ಟವಾಗಿರೋ ಮರುಳೆ ಗೊತ್ತುವುದು ನಿನ್ನಾತ್ಮ ಮಂಕುತಿಮ್ಮ. If you want your happiness and all your prosperity yourself and push the world away, then who is at loss? You are a fool to think that it is your interest to do so. It is your soul that is drying up. I once again reiterate that all these activities are done not with intention of personal benefit or improving practice. That is for Runava ತೀರಿಸಬೇಕು, ಋಣವ ತೀರಿಸಬೇಕು, ಋಣವ ತೀರಿಸುತ್ತ ಜಗದಾದಿ ತತ್ವವನ್ನು ಜನದಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತ ಅದರೊಳ್ ಒಂದುಗೂಡಲೇಬೇಕು. But final result of service with good intention is in front of everybody to see. I am sure there are colleagues with more skills, more smarter, more intelligent, more blessed in terms of training and supports. Youngsters are there. Only if they get inspiration, it will be good for them as well as society. For doing all these things, very important is you should get motivated, cooperative family. Also, nurturing young leaders in the institute and working with them is a joy and fun. Thank you. I thank you all for the patience hearing. Any input, sir? Mehta, sir?
Thank you, Dr. Shivram. It's amazing how you can do so many things at
Yes,
one
48
time.
hours per day.
I think so. You need 48 hours. You cram 48 hours within 24 hours. It's amazing. It's absolutely enlightening for all of us and a source of inspiration that you are for us to do at least part of what you have been doing till now. It's so very good. So very nice.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much. I'm blessed. And
Thank you, Shivram, for including all of us today.
okay.
It's been nice listening to all of you. Learned quite a lot.
Even we have learned a lot by involving in this session, I think. And last one is by Dr. Ponnappa. His views and what he take-home messages.
Can you hear me, sir? Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello. Yeah. I mean, the talks were excellent, sir. Starting from Dr. V.C. Mehta sir's talk, wherein I always thought being a doctor, I should be the person talking well with the patients, but I never really cared about what my receptionist spoke or what my optometrist spoke. So holistically, I realized that is also very important. And each and every talk as a junior ophthalmologist was very, very, to the point and there was a team building talk by Prabhu sir. That was also excellent, wherein I realized the one thing what he said was praise openly and warn privately. As a young ophthalmologist, what would happen is, as a private practitioner, when I'm angry, I shout in general. But then I realized, it doesn't make sense in that way. And HMR sir's talk was excellent, wherein the take-home point which I took was don't compromise on the quality of your basic equipments. That is what I thought was excellent, this thing. And I'll have a few questions for all the teachers here. And Shiv Prasad sir's talk was excellent in a way that what I picked from there was, he said, do not upscale until your surgical volume is about 4 to 5 cases per day. And don't upscale unless you get a second doctor. These two things was very, eye-opening in that way. And community service, sir, I don't know. I just thought I met a Karma Yogi right now. Shivram sir, I mean, I don't know. At my age, I think you would have probably worked every minute of your life. Now I feel even at this age, you're doing all of this. So I think it's an inspiration to all of us, because I did my fellowship in Arvind and I was a consultant there. I thought Arvind did a lot of social service. But after looking at you, I think you as one person are on another level of energy and inspiration for all of us, sir. It was excellent, sir. Thank you so much for all the this thing you have to share with us. Thanks a lot, sir.
Video is not coming. Sir,
Yeah,
any questions? Let us take.
yeah, I do have a lot of questions. Starting from, can you hear me, sir? Is it clear?
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So, hello.
Hello.
Tell me.
Yeah, I'm audible, sir. Yeah. And one question I have to VC Mehta, sir, was he told me that when it comes to a receptionist, do not have multitasking. Let it be only one person doing one work. But in a private practice like ours, which has I have about 6 or 7 staff, most of my staffs are multitasking. So do you think it's a good idea to go ahead with only single task thing, or multitasking is also okay?
So I was, see, if you have too many telephone inquiries, right, then it is better to have a dedicated telephone operator. If you do
Okay.
not have too many telephone inquiries, then it is okay. A certain amount of multitasking is always going to happen, but the point is that the patient who is
Actually, I
waiting
agree
at the
with sir,
desk.
with
Can you hear me?
Mehta sir, because
Yeah.
what happens is when you are talking to
Pardon?
Hello. Yes,
Yeah,
sir.
Ravindranath? Yeah.
Yes, sir.
I agree with sir that when you are talking to the patient in front of the desk, and if you get a phone call, so which one to choose? If you choose a phone call, then suddenly this person will get hurt. If you don't answer the phone call, he will blame that your people will answer the phone calls. So I think if you have more patients, if the calls are more, better to have a dedicated telephone operator, or probably receptionists can divide that you attend the phone calls, I will attend the patient, something like that.
Okay. Then to Prabhu Gowda, sir, I wanted to ask him whether how do you, when you talk about remuneration when it comes to team building, how do you really go about it? Is it fixed salaries, or is it is it a bonus you give over and above? Or even if you have a staff, like you say, your staff with who are into optometrist and all of that, what is the kind of increment we're looking at year on year in terms of the remuneration?
Actually, like what Shivram sir was telling, like we are not just the employees; they are all the partners of the institute. So usually, most of these people do not just work for the financial benefit. I think most of them are in need of a professional satisfaction and also the job security. In my institute, we don't have any incentive system. It is only a fixed salary, and every year we have an increase in the increment. And
So
we give other.
is it a fixed increment or year on year, or is it performance based, or how is it, sir?
No, we do the audit of every individual and reward them accordingly. Not that everybody will get the same.
Okay.
The person who
Then
does best will get the best.
okay.
Hello?
Okay, sir. Yes, sir. I can hear you, sir.
Yeah, the person, we usually do the audit of every individual. We reward them accordingly. And the person who is spending more time with the hospital work and who does extra work will definitely get more incentive than anybody.
Okay, sir. Then
You cannot
HMR, sir, I
generalize,
had a
like
question.
you cannot generalize that I am going to increase by 10% every year to everybody. Then the person
Okay,
becomes relaxed.
Okay, sir. HMR, sir, I had a question regarding your opinion regarding new machines versus pre-owned ones, which we get for a lesser price. Because when we start off our practice, buying every new instrument might be difficult for us in one go.
Okay, when you choose between new one and pre-owned one, I always choose new one, because in new one you have varieties available, and you can choose the one which accommodates your budget. Because you don't know about what is the pre-owned equipments they have, because nobody will just sell just for sake giving reason. So I always choose new one.
Okay,
In
sir.
new one, I can choose which accommodates my budgets.
Okay, sir. Right, sir. I think from my side, that would be the question, sir. Yes.
So, Dr. VC Mehta, sir, as a chairman of this session, your final words, please, before we close the session.
Yeah, it was a very enlightening session, which, because most important is it kind of touched upon the various other aspects of the practice related issues. So it's not just how you do a FACO or how you do a LACI, it's about the practice management. And from that point of view, this is a very great a learning session, especially for the young ones like Anuj Ponnappa. And they have, one has to realize that there is various aspects and attributes to a practice. Just doing a good FACO is not enough. So how you manage your optometrist, how you manage your staff, how you manage your front desk, how often do you train them? You go for training, you go for acquiring knowledge, but do you enlighten them, or do you train them from time to time? Is a very crucial important aspect of the practice management. And the finance and everything has to be looked into, because eventually every money that you earn is important, and how you save it and how you allow it to grow is equally more important. So at the end of the day, you need to create a kind of a fund for yourself, for your family, for your enhancement of the practice, etc. So in this sense, you have covered up almost everything that a practice needs. And unfortunately, we have learned in a slow and a hard way by making a lot of mistakes. But the youngsters can, learn this in a very short time, because now the knowledge is available everywhere. So I am sure that we have been able to impress upon the young generation that the different other aspects or attributes to the practice is equally important than your own skill of doing a phaco surgery. So in that sense, this was a wonderful session, and I congratulate all of the speakers for giving a wonderful kind of a talk and generated a good kind of a discussion in this session. Thank you all.
Thank you.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Thank you, all the panelists, as well as KOS office bearers, for giving us this opportunity to conduct this, and special thanks to all those who have joined for this meeting. Thank you, one and all. I think we are in time to finish
Right,
the.
absolutely. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.